If I see that in that logo, I'm gonna kick both of your asses.
3, 2, 1 on the
3,
visual
2,
clap.
1. Oh. All right. The Layline 33rd America's Cup Anarchy. We're here wrapping up, trying to get as much information as we can before this event ends. It is Saturday, and tomorrow well, maybe the last race if they get one off, and if the speed continues that we saw between BMW Oracle and Alinghi 5. I'm here with John Casey and the folks from Virtual Eye, who have really made this, and a lot of sort of big name racing and TV racing, made it more understandable for all of us. We all know that watching boats beating up, up a track and separated by miles can be almost impossible to figure out who's doing what. Even when you're there on the water, it's really hard to tell who's ahead. What these guys have developed is a great way to track and show, I think, graphically what's going on the course. But the heart of it is the system that John Rindle's developed with the trackers and the data that's coming in. John, welcome on the Water Anarchy. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. So this is where you sit during the races, yeah?
Yeah. I sit here and I'm pretty much just looking out, spotting anything that's might be unusual happening and sorting out any problems. But generally speaking, once the boats have gone off the dock, I'm just sitting here monitoring things during the day. And
you've just got numbers and data just flying in front of your screen, yeah?
Yeah, lots and lots of it. We've actually got about 10 different sources of data coming in here. This event, obviously covering such huge distances, required multiple redundancy. So we've got GPRS data on the cell phone network. That's a backup of a backup. We've got UHF radio. We've got repeaters out on the water. We've got Inmarsat satellite repeaters out there as well. So we've got fallovers for fallovers. And on the first day of racing, we actually had 100% data the whole day, which is fantastic for us over such a huge amount of area.
Yeah, with an average distance from the shore of 28 odd miles, yeah?
Yeah, exactly. So we kind of gulped a little bit when we first saw the spec for this event, and we were going, ooh, don't know how we're going to do it. But we got the radio tech guys in and worked out that what we had, we could do it, and we've spec'd up our radios, and yeah, the system's working really well.
And it's not like your first go-around. I mean, you guys have been at this for a long time, but obviously it presented a lot of new challenges. Was the distance the only real challenge, or were there other challenges here?
Certainly the distance was the biggest challenge. The second biggest challenge was the amount of time that we were given. We got a call 4 weeks ago now, and within 3 days we had to get all the equipment from New Zealand to here, which was a big challenge straight after Christmas, obviously. But yeah, that's pretty much about it.
So, John, grab what we got. Obviously, the heart of this is the data coming off the boats, but it's not that much data coming off the boats, is it? What are the key elements? John, move out of the way. What are the key elements that are coming off the boat?
Standard GPS stuff, obviously. So we're getting lats, long, and timestamps off the boat. But in this case, we're also getting the pitch and roll as well. So we've got all that information about the heel angle of the boat, which is really interesting, obviously, in the case with the catamarans that they're racing here.
Yeah, it's really good when you're watching it and you make it as close as possible to it being actually the real shot, you know. And are you working on something to make it more and more lifelike, or like an interface between the two?
How should I answer that question? Yeah, I mean, we're always looking at new ways to make the system more lifelike, and obviously getting better data off the water is a great way to start that. One thing we trialled in Nice at the Louis Vuitton there was getting wind data off the boats, and that was something we've never been able to do before, obviously, because with America's Cup and all, that kind of data is just simply not available. So yeah, just getting more data off the boat gives us better options when it comes to doing the visualization.
So right here, we have the normal one, right? And here, down here, is the one that you've been using for this cup.
Yeah, the souped up America's Cup version.
Okay, and what's the difference between the two?
The main difference at the moment, is this box here is more suited to smaller inshore racing, so it's just got a very small radio in it. perfect for dinghy sailing, Med Cup style events.
This one's really light.
Yep, perfect for that kind of stuff. And this box here has a much bigger radio on it and more suited for covering greater range.
Now, you said for dinghy racing. Have you guys done any dinghy racing on TV, any virtual eye dinghy racing?
Yeah, we actually did our first Olympic class event down in Melbourne, Sail Melbourne, and that was our first trial ever, and we're really hoping to be a serious contender to do more ISAF stuff.
I mean, are the costs maybe prohibitive for that sort of event? Or, I mean, obviously you guys have a big operation here. This is the highest end, I think, tracking available for sailboat racing. Can dinghy events afford what you guys are doing?
That's a very tough question, and the answer generally is no, they can't afford it. We are constantly looking at ways of how we can make it available to that market, and one of them is just trying to find a global sponsor for this kind of stuff. Obviously, we need the high level of data for the visualization, especially with the lower end tracking systems. They're great for doing 2D overlay stuff and very basic stuff, but when it comes to for doing TV and really good internet products, you need fast, accurate data.
Well, not only that, but like you say, visualizations. I mean, we've all seen dots on a screen. There are dozens of companies around the world doing dots on a screen. It's super valuable. It increases our understanding a lot, but you know, it's just not particularly exciting to watch.
Yeah, that's right. And that's where Virtual Eye comes in, because it takes all this great data and it turns it into something more realistic because of that.
You know, you can tell me to screw off, but let's say I had a regatta coming up in a year, and I had plenty of time to plan, and I had 50 boats on the line. What's it going to cost me to get you guys to come in?
Tough question. 50 boats? Don't know. I couldn't really answer that on the spot, but it would be quite well up there.
Probably cost more than to run the whole regatta.
Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah.
Yeah, and well, back to what we saw on the TV, we went back over it actually on the internet now, which is doing a lot better job. We saw the Virtual Eye, and then we saw the track difference, and it's hard to see that with the boats, the track difference, until you see it with the Virtual Eye. So are we going to see a simulation now?
Yep.
All right.
And Paul Sharp, our man over there, is going to take you through it.
All right, perfect.
Let me talk us through this. So one of the things that Paul does is Paul creates really the virtual look and this sort of virtual world, both the background, the waves, the chop, the white caps, and the mountains, the cities, and the boats themselves. Paul, welcome again to the On the Water Energy Report. How are you?
Not too bad, thanks.
We're going to leave you down here, but would you just sort of talk us through how you go about creating this world?
Yeah, well, there's two stages. One is the data coming in. So this is the kind of interface that we're watching in this sort of live mode. Turn around so you can just see a little bit more. Basically, we're just it's very simple 2D. It's lots of numbers so we can keep a track. Green light means good data coming in regularly. If those go red, then we start to worry. Just sort of watching lats, longs. The dots that you're seeing here relative to the coastline. So this is the box that the racing can go in. This is about 60 miles pretty much from side to side. The diamond that was set up yesterday, if I do it that way, you might be able to see a little bit more clearly, although the text is hiding it. The diamond is the race area that the boats are going to sail through. So at the top of the race, this is where the committee boat was positioned yesterday. So it was pretty much at the extreme of where we were going to be sailing. So the boat sailed out from Valencia up to the start-finish area, and then they sailed basically due south down to the windward mark and then back up again. Now we have these two yellow dots here are the position of our two relay boats, so they're actually used as a repeater. So the race boats, as they're sailing through this area, these guys have got a 12-mile circle. I can't show you on this version. There's a 12-mile radius basically that they'll be receiving the data from, and then relaying it back either direct to